Totino. Now, today we have something a little bit different. We've got a guest joining us via Zoom, but in an industry that we've never had before. So I'm generally really keen to learn some more about how all these events and festivals and all this musical stuff happens. Just a quick disclaimer, I've personally never been to a festival. So I've got questions that are probably real basic answers. And it's probably going to be a lot of things that really blow me away. But we have someone who has successfully won the bid to bring some major international music events to Australia and then turning them into multi-city events across the country. A well-respected guy in the venues, entertainment industry with his leadership, creative direction, and his hands-on style to bring ideas to life on the biggest platforms. And also in 2016, he was recognized as a music feeds as achiever and one to watch in the music and events industry. We have Travis Grech. How are you, buddy?
Mate, what an intro. I think...
Welcome.
Mate, who's that person? He sounds great. I want to hire him.
He's right here on the other side of the camera to me. How are you, buddy?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, doing really well, thanks. We're going to get stuck straight into rapid fire. So it's some quick questions followed by some very quick answers.
Yeah.
You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Favorite song right now?
Shit. Pass.
No, this is not, Sale of the Century, or this is not...
I don't even know favorite song right now. Oh, to be honest, I don't know. I'm not really listening to much of it.
Give me something. Give me something. Just something.
Anything to do with Drake, a bit of love.
Drake. Yeah, true. All right, cool. Favorite song to get you pumped up?
Anything from Disclosure. Like, I really love those guys, and just like a little bit of mood chill, little thing, anything like that. So I listen to anything on a Spotify list at the moment, just like this. Yeah.
Random stuff. All right. This one here's I've thrown in specially just for you. Favorite song to play at a club/event?
Ooh.
If the crowd needs a G up, if you want to just, you want to play your tune.
I've always loved like Afrojack, Take Over Control. I guess some Swedish House Mafia, old school kind of stuff.
Does it always get a result? Like, does that always get the crowd like G'd up?
Yeah, I guess like anything that a crowd knows is like a sing along chant, hands in the air.
What's that Swedish? Is it Don't You Worry, Child?
Yeah, I mean that gets played. I guess a lot of sets. Even we've played it at multiple shows that we've done, and it's just It's just a good feeling, emotional. I guess.
Totally. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Ooh, mate. Favorite movie? Shit. I was going to say Titanic, but...
I like that movie, bro. That's a fucking sick movie.
Wolf of Wall Street, I guess things that you kind of relate to, but I guess I don't know, that was a really cool movie, wasn't it? So,
Wolf of Wall Street was pretty full on. That's for sure. Favorite book?
Favorite book, to be honest, I don't really read that much, but I guess if you want to call favorite book that's turned into a movie, I mean, I love Harry Potter. So.
All right, it's fair call. Your go-to meal?
Mate, pasta.
Pasta?
Can't live without it, especially mum's pasta. So
100%.
Take that any day of the week.
Favorite TV show?
Mate, to be honest, right now I'm loving Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Lucifer on Netflix. It's like this, I guess, demon kind of show, which is a little bit different, off center. But I love that. That's pretty good. I'm into that at the moment.
Lucifer. All right. Your biggest celebrity / sporting idol growing up?
I mean, I'm a Geelong supporter, so
there you go.
You can't go past, I guess, Gary Ablett growing up, listening, watching, and I guess that kind of era. So yeah, I guess he was my hero.
Totally. Yeah, Did you play?
Yeah, I used to play. Juniors, play seniors. Fortunately, didn't make it to the big league, but
yeah.
I love football, love passion. Still
100%. Totally.
Back up.
It's honestly great that it's on every night at the moment. Until last night.
It's amazing. I actually jumped on KO just because it's just
Me too. Me too. So did I. I was like, man, I'm getting KO and I'm watching the F1, watching the footy, watching more sport than ever. It's great. One thing you hate or dislike and you can't say coriander?
Chili. Hate chili.
Chili. Wow. Okay. Funniest or craziest thing you've done?
Funniest or craziest thing I've done? I haven't really done anything so crazy. I mean, throwing a festival is probably something crazy.
I was going to say, that's pretty fucking epic.
But I've never really bungee jumped or anything. But yeah, I guess doing something like that, yeah, that's probably my crazy.
Totally. A book or audio book?
Audio at the moment.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Sum up your mindset in one word.
Never ending.
Never ending. I
But
love it.
yeah.
Proudest moment personally and proudest moment in business.
I guess the proudest moment personally was, I guess, doing a music festival, but then having my parents come,
Yeah, nice.
and to spend the day with me at Ultra and the VIP experience and stuff like that. I guess that's probably like my ultimate kind of thing too. So, but I guess yeah, if you want to put them toe to toe together, it was pretty cool, kind of walking
Love
mum
it.
and through and seeing what.
Through months of prep and months of getting it all together.
Yeah, I guess like old school kind of like if you want to call old school mentality of old school wogs, not really
100%.
understanding, what I do or what it is that goes on. But I guess
mm.
them coming to the music festival and enjoying it, and then being around all these VIP celebrities and people taking photos with them, and it was
Oh, you're Travis's parents. Oh my God, can we get a photo?
photo with you. It was,
Yeah,
that was
totally.
cool.
Love it, love it. Tell us something about you, Travis, that no one knows.
Tell us that nobody knows. Nobody knows, mate. To be honest, I just love being at home with the dog, like chilling out with my friends, my family, my partner. Just downtime is like really important to me. What goes on weekends or late at night, on your social media isn't the person that I kind of am.
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess me just being at home in trackies, eating a pizza and just enjoying life, just having some downtime is just like, I think it's really important. So yeah, that's like, I guess.
Has that been something probably more through this COVID that you've really lived into, so to say?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit different. I guess this COVID kind of stuff, it's just taken everyone by storm, and something that I'm not really used to, especially on weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday even, 9, 10 o'clock, getting ready to go out.
Totally.
Now, 9, 10 o'clock, I'm in bed.
Ready to call it a night. It's going to be hard going back to the nightlife.
Definitely. Like, you look at your phone and it's not ringing or someone's asking for a favor.
There's no photos coming through.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, different.
Yeah,
ones.
definitely. What's your biggest pet hate? Just something really small that just gets you.
My biggest pet hate, I guess, just the work ethic. Of like we get a lot of people coming through wanting to work, and I guess understanding of what we do, and it's like it's not a 9 to 5
totally
kind of job.
Yeah.
And I work late. The day kind of starts 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning kind of thing, and then goes to 7, 8 o'clock. So I guess, I'm the kind of go. So I guess if I want an answer and I'm just chasing. So I guess, just the work ethic of things, and just, I guess as people kind of go on, the mindset changes of what the industry is.
100%. Yeah. What's your greatest failure that ended up being your best lesson?
My greatest failure would probably be like, I guess, giving up. I used to skateboard, which I think no one really kind of knows.
Okay.
I used to skateboard with my cousin, and like I was like, as a junior, skateboarding, winning sponsorships, doing this.
Oh, wow.
Doing some crazy stuff, and then I just kind of stopped. And I look back on life, and I think, I wonder what I would have been if I continued skateboarding. I did it for like 8 years or whatever it was as like a junior.
Yeah.
Riding around, can't go past, the gates at home, stay in your.
Getting creative with that space. I love it.
Yeah. And I guess me and my cousin used to skateboard every weekend, every day after school. And, I guess learning those achievements, like getting that kickflip, learning that certain kind of trick and taking so long to do. But, jumping off stairs, jumping on rails. And then I think when I turned 18, found nightlife, got a car.
Totally.
And,
yeah.
I guess if I look back now and I wish, things changed, I guess that would have been it if I wish I just continued doing it. And
well, like you said, who knows where it could have led you? Could have been the next Tony Hawk from Australia.
These guys are traveling the world, endorsements, money, life.
100%. 100%. No, love it. If you could choose to have lunch with any one person in the world, past or present, dead or alive, you've got a 2-hour time limit, who would it be?
That's a good one. I guess, like, if you look now, like, I guess, entrepreneurs and all that, your Mark Zuckerbergs and all these people you can kind of pick minds to now. But I guess on a music kind of level, I mean, I love Michael Jackson, and I think like he's an artist that I never
100%.
I guess just his music, his mindset, and what he kind of did, and just I guess just that's next level stuff. Then you get someone like Tupac, you know what I mean? Like just
true.
Like, straight up gangster kind of
just hanging out with him. Like, how do they live life? Like, what are they thinking about? How do they think? Like, what do they do?
Yeah, just like a day-to-day kind of life. He's kind of like next level
but the real day-to-day, not what you see on, fucking MTV Cribs and shit. Like the real day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, look, what goes on, like, a recording studio session, this,
Yeah,
the moment you wake up. I mean, a lot of people don't understand because, these celebrities and I guess music artists, they're people like myself and you, just a
correct.
normal person. They live up, they have their breakfast, they do their thing. Obviously, they're
Mhm.
like their life to a degree isn't like ours. Like they can't walk out their front door without
Spot on.
paparazzi, this and that, which is we can walk out the door 5 kilometers at the moment.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
no one
guess
break our
like,
balls.
yeah, I mean, like I've dealt with some celebrities and stuff when I was at Marquee in Sydney, and I guess
Mm.
their entourage coming through and their security doing their walkthroughs and doing things before an artist even steps foot in the venue. It's a little bit different, and I guess you got to understand, the back doors, the paparazzi, what goes on. So I guess having to live in like a life of like a celebrity on kind of that kind of level, what is it like? I've
Totally.
always kind of like delved into it a little bit, but like, what is it? Like
Yeah.
your
Well, even
entourage.
some of what you just said there, like just how much effort goes into before an appearance happens. People just think people just turn up, they come through the front door, but like by what you just said there, it's probably days, if not weeks, and way before that these things are organized.
Yeah, I mean, a
Um,
funny story was like we did Drake at Marquee, and I think that was probably one of my biggest high level kind of artists. So he did his show in Sydney, and then we did his after party show at Marquee in Sydney. And mate, his security, just the walk through, the plan, the timing, like these
wow.
guys are professional, next level stuff. The
Yeah.
moment the car needs to arrive a certain time, it needs to be this. The lift needs to be down on this. The walk path needs to be this. The certain drinks, a certain bartender. Like it's just at the end of the day, these are high level celebrity
Well,
music
it's
artists.
Drake. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just you're dealing with a security guard that's like 10 foot tall, arms, and it's just they got multiple security guards. And,
Totally.
um, I guess that's the life that they live. Like everything, it's just it's just a
It's scheduled to the T. Everything's scheduled to, minute here, minute there, and there's pretty much hardly any downtime.
yeah,
But man, that's crazy. I want to definitely talk more about that, some of those sort of events
yeah,
that you did,
cool.
for sure, for sure. What was 10-year-old Travis like?
Mate, football. I used to love breed
Footy.
football. No, like I guess there was no fear in life. Just I was the most happiest kid growing up. We didn't have much.
Mm.
Just the normal kind of just a house. My two brothers, mum and dad. It was a good life that we all kind of lived, and mum and dad kind of worked really hard. And then it was on weekends. It was like they were working still. But I guess I was just happy. Just a
Love it.
normal happy kid. Just enjoyed life. Played football, skateboarded.
Love it.
No fear, no nothing, isn't it? Just
At
enjoyed
that
life.
age, yeah. But what else is there? You
Yeah,
watch footy all the time and just tell yourself one day I'm going to be an AFL player.
yeah,
One day you're going to be traveling with Tony Hawk, and that's all that matters until shit starts to get real. you
yeah.
know.
Definitely.
No, love it. Last question in rapid fire. What's one skill, trait, quality that you would see sort of across your closest 5 friends, 5 acquaintances, and that's something that's really important to you that you hold closely to you?
Um, yeah, I guess trust. Trust is like a big thing for like I guess my little circle. Obviously, yeah, everyone's got a lot of friends, but I guess I've always said you can count your 5 friends on your hand kind of thing. Of the ones that if something was to go wrong, you pick up the phone, they'll pick up no matter what.
Yeah.
And I guess trust is like a big thing for me. Like with everything, you break someone's trust, and like
It's
now
very hard.
no one really has time on this now. But I guess from myself and my close friends and circle, it's always our trust. Our bond, our calls, and we have a great friendship. But I guess if you want to call a key word, I think trust.
Trust. Yeah, good. Well, that's rapid fire. Well done. It starts off really quick and it slows down a bit, but that's awesome. Love it. I didn't actually know you skateboarded, so that's sick.
Yeah,
I used to be a massive Tony Hawk fan. I used to play PlayStation, Tony Hawk game. Like me and my cousins, same thing. I could never skateboard. I think I've skateboarded like once in my life, and I think I fell, so I was like, never again. But look, man, I want to ask you a quick question before we get stuck into the story. What's the number one thing that you've learned about yourself during COVID?
During COVID, I mean, yeah, it's one thing I've learned about myself. I guess I haven't stopped, and I guess it's kind of like myself and everything I've ever done is I haven't kind of stopped. I've kind of looked up, I guess, new ways, new ventures, new ideas, new business things, and yeah, I mean, it's been tough. I'm not going to lie and say it's been happy and glorified and anything in any way. Or I guess, yeah, if I was to look at something, I guess kind of like, yeah, just haven't stopped. And I guess it's kind of like, if I look back and moving forward, post this next year, I'd kind of be a little bit, I've been happy to know that I haven't stopped. I haven't been just sitting on the couch and just doing this or nothing. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where that
Yeah,
mindset.
good. I guess you sort of used the time for what it was to the best of its capabilities. Like you didn't, in a way, waste it. You're still trying to, grow, open new things, do new things, expand your mind, and get out there and try, and start getting ahead of what the industry might look like.
Yep.
Where did it all begin? Like, how did events, festivals, music, how did that begin? Like, I know you said you were, footy and skateboarding until 18. Then, how did you transition into running some of the biggest events and festivals in Australia?
Yeah, so when I was like kind of younger, I mean, I've always had a passion, I guess, for music growing up. My dad was, I guess, in a band, like obviously Greek weddings, all the European stuff. So maybe I get my music love from dad. But
yeah.
I guess like school, like I had, two older brothers that were, I guess, very educated and school smarts. And I guess school really wasn't for me, but I could have the conversation, I could sell, I could talk to someone, the teachers used to always say to my parents at interviews, he's the gossip, all he wants to do is everything about everyone and stuff like that. So I guess, when I kind of finished school, I wasn't sure which direction I really wanted to go to. To be honest, I wanted to be a wedding planner.
A wedding planner?
Yeah, like I thought, you know what? I guess, weddings are a good way to make money. They're never going to end. I could sell,
Totally.
It was good, it was kind of like, I guess, a little passion. And then I did like, I guess, I did some dual diploma. I did a dual diploma in event and venue management,
Nice.
and a music business kind of degree, just continue going on.
Yep.
But I guess when I was 18, I just started going clubbing just as a normal patron. Just started going out, and I just loved
it.
Music. And I thought, you know what, this is cool. I made a lot of friends quickly. And then I started going to Chases on Chapel Street.
Yep.
And happened to be Martha, who's the owner and still is the owner, Martha. And she came up to me one day and said, hey, a lot of people here. Do you want a job? And I said, job? Like, what are you doing in a nightclub? I had no idea about anything. I thought you just open the doors, put the music on.
Totally.
And that's it. She's like, oh, we'll pay you $2 per person for every person that you bring in and have some drink cards and this is great. And, be the face of the club to a certain degree. And I said, awesome. Like,
I'm already here. Yeah, totally. I'm already here. I may as well get a couple of dollars for it.
Yeah, this is awesome. And then, I guess $2 became like $100 a week, came $200 a week. And I guess as time goes on, like I started learning the back end of the office, what happens at a nightclub. It's not just, hey, we open the doors on the weekend. It's the stock ordering, it's the promotions, the marketing. I guess Facebook, MySpace, Instagram, nothing was around. There was no social.
100%. Yeah.
So I was always like, how do I get these people in using my guest list? How do people say? So I didn't have any money back then. I was like 18, 19. I had a $30 prepaid. So what I did was I used to go around the club and just getting people's numbers every night at the club. Just go around, talk to people, put in my phone. And basically Martha used to open up the door for me on Saturday during the day. And I used to call everyone from Chase's landline because I couldn't afford it to make sure they were coming in and use my phone, my number, and use my guest list.
Wow.
So that kind of just went on and on. So I didn't have any money, but I used to talk.
Totally.
I used to get everyone's numbers at the club, walk around, not trying to pick up chicks or whatever it is. I want to use my guest list. Hey, I had the lanyard on. Hey, I'm the host, kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. And that went over a period of time. And $100 a week all of a sudden became $1,000 a night, and it just kind of grew on. And I used to people used to call me and Chases, if you weren't in by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you weren't going to get in. It was just the number one club on Chapel Street. It was happening. I guess that's how I built my network. I guess car bombing, handing out flyers on cars with my guest list, flyers, handing out, walking in the street in the rain, handing out flyers, use my guest list.
Wow.
I guess that's kind of like the hustle of what it was back then to kind of, I guess, you're competing against other promoters and other hosts and stuff. But I guess I owe a lot of credit to Martha. Everyone thought she was my mum. But, I called her mum because she could, taught me a lot. She was like a lot hard work ethic, the hustle and bustle. Especially when you got a multi-million-dollar business going on and you're competing against other clubs and other things going on.
Yeah.
So it was great to kind of learn of what kind of went on. I guess I club hopped a little bit. And then Martha gave me, I guess, the first opportunity to go, hey, do you want to run your own events? And I said, wow, I guess let's run your own night at Chases. It was a one-off event. It was Ministry of Sound Trance Nation.
Wow. Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I'm putting my money on the line here. This is crazy. DJs are costing $5,000 and, this is like a big thing for me. And I'm like, how am I going to make this money? And didn't really understand how it all kind of worked. But, it was a full house night. It was great. I made a couple of grand. I never made that much money in all my life. And I thought, this was the best thing. Mum and dad couldn't believe it. They're like, what are you doing? Like, are you doing? And what's going on? Like,
what are you doing on the weekends?
Totally. Yeah, how do you make $1,000 in one night? And I took mum and dad down to the club and showed them, introduced them to Martha. And, kind of understood, because no one could really understand, I guess, that work ethic. Mum and dad worked 40 hours a week, made $500, whatever it was.
Yeah, totally.
And you're doing this in one night. But I guess it's a different mindset of
100%.
not just doing that one night, you're doing stuff during the week. And I kind of understood this is what goes on. Like, it's locking in birthdays, it's the hustle and this, making sure your guests get locked in, calling. Like on a Saturday, I was calling everyone and make sure you use my guest list, this and that. Call me, I'll walk you to the front. And I guess once you do that for once, they call you consistently calling back.
Correct. It's a relationship, man. You build that relationship with them.
Exactly. It's like real estate, isn't it? You sell someone's house and you get a job by them, or whatever industry it might be in. Like, I call people, if someone does things on a print, it's a last minute thing. Hey, I need a print job. I always go to that one guy who always looks after me because he works at 8 o'clock at night. He knows I'm doing that. It's just, that's what it is, isn't it? So
you've got your connections. You know the people that you can rely on from that perspective to get shit done. But I love the fact, like you said there, it's like a couple of things out of that was like, it's not just that Saturday night. It's not just the Friday night. It's the Monday to Thursday, coming up with the campaigns, coming up with the ideas, coming up with the guest list, coming up with whose birthday is it, what DJs we're going to have, what's going to be our message this week. And then, Saturday getting in there and just ringing. I couldn't imagine how many 100 people. Obviously it would have started smaller and smaller, and all of a sudden you're ringing hundreds and hundreds of people. But even just to have that mindset to think I've got to build a database without even actually thinking about it like that. I
didn't even know what a database was. Like
totally, yeah. Well, your mobile phone was the most valuable thing you had in your life. You had all those names and numbers on there.
Definitely.
That's incredible, man.
But yeah, definitely. It was just it was a different mindset back then, and I guess it was different ways to try and reinvent the wheel because there was no social media. So how are people going to come down, use my guest list is different. And then
do you think it's easier now? Sorry, I know you're about to keep going, but just one second. Do you think it's easier now or easier then to gain, like with social media or without social media?
I mean, without social media, it was more loyalty.
Yeah. Okay.
You had those people that would call you up. I had their names and numbers. I knew their faces. I knew their friends and people. Whereas nowadays, I guess it's mass marketing, mass message.
100%.
And you don't kind of know. I mean, there's a lot of key promoters that still work for me personally that do a great job and have their close networks and walk outside, walk their guests in.
Yeah, nice.
And I guess build that one-on-one mentality that they know that can come to the club at any time.
Yeah.
And still get looked after, which is so important. I mean,
100%.
You're out at a restaurant and you go, hey, I want to go to that club later on. Oh, I know this person. I'll call him up. He comes out, looks after you.
Yeah.
That's it's a hospitality industry, isn't it? We're in hospitality. People 100%. Forget that basically it is hospitality.
Yeah.
When you go to a fine dining restaurant, when you walk in, you pay for that service, don't you?
It's the experience. It's the experience, man. Yeah.
And I guess some people forget about that. And I guess, we're trying always, every night that we do or every festival or whatever it might be, or because we do a lot of weekly clubs, we have our meetings beforehand and
of course,
we want to ensure that everyone has a good time.
Yeah.
From the moment the girls are smiling at the front door, this is happening, and it's just that flow-on effect, isn't it?
Good point. Like I said, it's that relationship. You that guy who thinks of you when he's at dinner, he's now brought 5 people, 2 people, 10 people with him. Those people say, wow, that we got treated like royalty here, and they're great people. I'm going to come back in 2 weeks' time with my other group of friends. All of a sudden, you've expanded that network from 1 to 10.
Definitely. It has that flow-on effect every week.
Spot on. No, I love it. So obviously, you ran your first event, Ministry of Sound. Then what? Did it just sort of like, wow, I want more of this?
Yeah, I loved it. I was still doing my schooling in between and still understanding about, I guess, the back end and stuff and learning about, I guess, how events are kind of run. And I guess putting like procedures in place and understanding that there is a corporate world out there as well. It's not just stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess just really kind of understanding that. But I guess with this industry, it's more experience than actually pen and paper, which kind of just really, because I wasn't really good about pen and paper. I guess you put me in front of an exam, I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't understand it, but experience, pen, paper, on understanding and learning from your mistakes.
Correct.
That's kind of what it was. And then I did that for a fair few years. And then I got an opportunity to do work at Marquee Sydney as the program manager. So Marquee, I guess, it's the Las Vegas nightclub of the world.
Totally.
The group is all over the world. They've got restaurants, venues, nightclubs. And, I guess this was like, in nightclub world, this was like the shit. This was
totally.
like
Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I knew there was an opportunity going up. Timmy Trumpet, which is a good friend of mine, basically did an introduction when one of the guy from the US was leaving after they've just come in, and I just left my previous kind of job, and basically I was like, wow, this is an opportunity to kind of do it. And I flew myself to Sydney. I met with the guy, Tim Waugh, who was the marketing director at the time, and I said, hey, I want this job. You know, he's like, well, who are you, kind of thing? And I said, mate, I want this job. You know, Timmy did the introduction and kind of had one or two dinners, and then I guess the initiative of just flying up,
Totally.
you know, like I guess took them like, who's this guy? And they've heard of me a little bit, and I guess they did their research and stuff. And I said, hey, I want this job. I was on their back. I'm happy to move to Sydney. Went through the process of interviews because obviously being a casino and obviously a major group, got the job. You know, within like 2 weeks. You know, I was like, didn't think I was going to get it, but hey, Trav, got a phone call. You got the job, and 2 weeks later, I was living in the casino for a month while I was trying to find a place. So I was the programming manager there for just under 4 years, and I guess that was just a different world. That was like, I learned so much from, I guess, Noah and the Tau Group and obviously Marquee Sydney on just how they do things. And the way they do things is just next level. You know, they've really got it down pat on, you know, I would say Noah, who's like, Noah Teppenberg is his name. He's the owner of one of the owners of Marquee. And he's got like, I guess, 10 venues, thousands of staff, if not more. I don't know how many venues they've got worldwide. And I guess his work ethic was, if you sent him an email, within 5 minutes, he'd reply back. And I'm like, I'm just a little guy and a little fish doing a little club in Sydney. Well, not a little club, but a little role. But he's taken the time out to answer my question straight away. And I guess he kind of taught me the work ethic. No matter what it is, if you've seen it and you can reply, you reply then and there.
100%.
Business doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And I guess his work ethic was, the moment you can make money while you're sleeping, that's when you've made it, kind of thing. I'm like, I've always wanted, as I'm kind of growing in life and really on different benches and stuff, that mindset that he's kind of taught me of like, I want to be able to sleep and make money, whatever it is.
Totally. Oh, 100%. Yeah. You know, whatever revenue stream it is. Yeah, definitely.
Revenue stream of that. And I guess that more so is like, you know, he was my mentor for those 4 years. I looked up to him. We spoke highly. We know when he came down to Sydney, we hung out a lot and he taught me so much. And I guess just seeing what he kind of created, which was the same kind of work ethic that I had at the start, you know, just the hustle and bustle, which is kind of he did it. But yeah, just I guess learning about different traits. And I've kind of taken that upon board about that now. And, you know, I guess my partner, Steph, you know, she's like, oh, you're always on your phone, always on your phone. But I guess as these events kind of lead on and doing things, if someone's taking the time out,
100%. Yeah.
Email me or message me.
Yeah.
Bang, I reply back.
100%.
And it just kind of moves things along really quickly.
Totally.
I guess especially in what we do, different time zones.
Yes.
We do
True.
that.
Yes.
9 to 5, whatever it is, we do the day job. But especially when we're doing stuff overseas, and I guess a lot of promoters and a lot of industry crew kind of know this, when they wake up, it kind of takes on again.
Yeah.
They'll work until 12 o'clock at night until, you know, what it is their time.
Whatever it is, yeah.
Because if you miss that day, you're competing against other offers, other shows, other things going on. So if another promoter puts another offer in, you know what, I'll reply tomorrow.
Bang, you've lost the time. Yeah.
Agents move really quickly, you know. It's just
well, like you said, it's business, it's the world. Like if especially on this scale with this sort of, you know, this sort of money on the line, they're not going to want to wait a day or two for some guy to reply saying, you know, what color should we have, or, you know, are you in or you're out? You know, like it needs to move quick. I love what you said about the marquee there as well. Is like how much. So far, I've, you know, like you said, what was one of the things you hate at the start or dislike was the work ethic, the mindset towards it. And I can sort of understand now why, because you're on the complete other side of that.
Yeah.
You're like, I will go out in the rain and give you flyers. I will walk around with a mobile phone with $30 credit and take as many numbers as possible. I will fly to Sydney for a job interview and they don't even know who the hell I am. Don't even email them. Don't even ring them. Just turn up and say, hey, here I am.
Yeah.
That's the difference, man. Like that's what I believe so far. This is what's giving you these great results is you putting yourself out there, not waiting for someone to call you and say, hey, well, there's all these things happening. Do you want to come and start it out? You went and got them yourself.
Yeah, I think you know, anything in life, like, I mean, you've got to put it out there and you just got like, my mind doesn't stop. Like sometimes it's my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Like, not last night, so the night before, it was just, I couldn't sleep. It was just thinking a million things. It just doesn't stop. And like, sometimes it's your best friend and I guess sometimes it's your worst enemy.
Totally.
But I guess if you want something in life, I think you just got to go out and get it.
100%.
You just got to put it out there and just go, you know what, I've got to keep thinking about it and just putting it out there. How am I going to get it?
the right connections will come around, the right opportunities will come around, but it starts from the prior where you're like, okay, cool, well, this is the direction I want to go.
Yeah. I mean, if you love something so much, you just, like with anything, you just got to keep going. And I see so many people like kind of give up a little bit. You know, it's hard. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like being out every single weekend to all hours of the morning, sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like, you know, it puts a lot of strain on your body.
100%. Again, and it's if you want to make that choice, if that's the lifestyle you want to live, if that's a career you want to go down, well, that's just what's part of the job role.
Yeah.
Get used to it. Don't tell them to run nightclubs during the day. That's why they're called nightclubs, because they're fucking at night. You know what I mean? Like if you don't like the late nights, early mornings of what you have to do, then go and get a new career. Love it. So Marquee, 4 years. Like you said, you would have learned shitloads while you're there. Yeah. What was the time like while you're there for you as a person though? Like during that time there, cool. The nightlife would have been, I can only imagine, incredible. Like you said, you had Drake coming through and so many others. But what was it like for you?
Look, to be honest, it was I've never moved out of home, so that was a new experience. Literally to go, hey, you've got a job, we need you here next week, kind of thing. So I literally packed up my bags, mum, dad, going to Sydney.
Catch up.
What do you mean you're going to Sydney? You're like, hey, I've got the job. Yeah, it was amazing. It was exciting times because they knew how much I wanted it. But I've never lived on my own, so that was like, I guess, new experience and trying to find my feet on how it works and cooks and cleans and I guess all that. But I guess during that time, I was still running my Melbourne business. So I was still running my weekly nights. I was still doing my major events. I was still doing a couple of things. So during that time, I did God's Kitchen, which I guess was the next big major event. So I guess that was my festival hall kind of show, which I did. That was like a 5,000 people show. And then we did Melbourne Park, 8,000. So I guess during Sydney, I was still running Melbourne. So I'd finish Sydney while I was during the day was my Sydney Marquee job and whatever. Come home, eat dinner, and then I was on my phone doing my Melbourne stuff. So I was running CQ and a bunch of other tours and shows going on. So I was running 2 cities, 2 shows. And every kind of weekend I was flying back to Melbourne just to catch up. So Sunday, Monday, every kind of second weekend, literally finish the club at 6 a.m. First flight out, because my dad used to work for Qantas.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah, I used to be on staff travel.
Yeah.
Literally jump on a flight and just, come back to Melbourne. So 6 o'clock, finish the club, be straight at the airport, my bag's ready to go, fly over back to Melbourne, do Sunday, catch up with everyone Monday, Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock, back to Sydney. And I did that for every 2 weeks. You know, I used to know air hostess by names and check-in girls, and it was just became a reality. But I guess, you know, another thing talking about hustle is I just didn't stop.
Yeah.
You know, I guess running Melbourne, running Sydney, just the adrenaline.
That's crazy, man.
Now I get anxious when I go to an airport. I'm like, oh, I've got to check in. I've got to be there.
Totally. Yeah.
But then I just didn't care. Like I was just going. I think, you know, I had the Melbourne stuff going. I had the Sydney stuff going. It was just, I guess they would piggyback off each other as well. The connections and going things. But I guess, you know, running.
That's crazy, man.
You know, I'd be on my phone to my partner, Ash, every night while I was running this and running things going on. And, you know, I missed out during the day, try and catch up at night, just to continue my Melbourne stuff, because I knew Sydney was like never going to be forever. So totally. I always had in the mindset, whatever I started in Melbourne, I could not stop doing it. So I had to continue doing it. And then when I came back, it kind of just flowed on.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Sydney was going to be like a stepping stone, sort of say, like just a massive growth and knowledge.
So I guess, you know, that was great. I mean, it was a lot of work and a lot of strain on my body, especially flying. But hey, I loved it.
Part of the deal.
Yeah, I look back now when I talk to my mates or whatever it is, and you know, and Sydney was like the highlight. You know, it was definitely something I loved and enjoyed. That's for sure. So
you had Drake there. Who else? Like, what were some other big name celebrities?
Drake. You know, anyone you could think of. Like, we did all the Stereosonic sideshows, all the Future Musics, because I guess they were the stuff back then. So that was my favorite 2 weeks. Like every artist on the sun. We did the private yachts. We did the boat parties. We did the Nova Red Rooms, and it was just like the glitz and glamour. And then I guess we did. You know, with the Nova Red Rooms, we had Miley Cyrus, you know, we did a party for her. I had Kevin Hart come in, you know, big fan of him. So I was like, get off Kevin Hart. You know? But I guess, every week was just whoever was in town, because the relationship with Marquee Worldwide, these guys and these artists and these celebrities know this brand. Yeah. I guess worldwide over New York, Las Vegas, Singapore, whatever it might be. So they know the relationship. So a lot of times if they're in town, I get a call from Noah saying, hey, this person's coming through tonight. Look after them, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I guess it's just a different mindset. Sometimes like we had clients on a different level not a celebrity or a musician, but someone buying a table for 10, 20, 30, $50,000. You know, I've never been used to like bottle service tables.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could never understand, you know, if I had $1, I'd keep that $1 and I'd be spewing that I had $1, you know.
Yeah.
I could never understand, like, someone is like doing $10,000 on alcohol, you know. I was just like, what is this world? Like, what is this crazy world of bottle service, and really getting to understand that. And I guess when we did Marquee, when we reverted to Ultra, they run something called the VVIP table experience. And I guess, you know, people buying tables for 50 grand, 100 grand for a table. And I'm like, this is the culture. You know, this is the culture that, I guess, the mindset of people coming through, or your mates coming through, or someone that just has that much disposable money, but is just living their life, and that's what they love to do.
Totally.
That was like people like, whoa, like someone spending 10 grand, like, you know, what is that? That's
on vodka.
Yeah.
Wow, that's sick. That was one of my favorite parts about America when we went a couple of years ago, doing the whole Vegas thing, getting the whole table service. It's just I never experienced it. Like, it's not a big thing here in Melbourne. You know, like to have that sort of experience. But in Vegas, like you said, it's a whole different world, how they operate it. So you were at Marquee 4 years, back and forward, still running Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then is that when Ultra sort of happened?
Yeah, I think, you know, after Marquee kind of finished, came back and did a few things with a few people. Like, I joined the team. They're good friends of mine, obviously Lucky. So Luke, Kieran, and obviously Spags, you know, those guys are lifelong friends and stuff like that. So came on, worked with those guys, I think, for a year. And during that process, we were negotiating, obviously, Ultra the same time. So myself and my business partner, Ash, flew over to Singapore. So we came and saw Ultra. Went over to those guys, met Russell and Adam from Ultra. And obviously, you know, they've always wanted to bring Ultra here to Australia, but, you know, the timing wasn't right. We had Stereosonic, we had Summer Days, Future Music.
Totally.
Kind of never the right time for those guys to venture into Australia, when I guess you got two powerhouse music festivals that are just, how do you compete against them that are just...
Totally.
So, you know, obviously Stereosonic kind of finished, and I think there was like that little bit of a gap in the market for us to kind of look at Ultra. And, you know, that was a kind of 12-month negotiation on that.
Wow.
Like Ultra, it's a franchise. It's like, I guess, you know, buying into something like McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know, they've got their ways on doing things, you know, from their artwork to their artists to their marketing team to their sponsorship team to their look and feel and all this kind of stuff. So I guess it's not just going, hey, we're going to do a music festival and put some DJs on and, you know, hang some lights and stuff. It's
totally, yeah.
You know, our team here in Australia is talking to their team, and they've got a person in every department. So it was, a learning curve to just kind of find our feet. Obviously, we did the first one, which was Road to Ultra.
Yep.
So there's basically...
What year was that?
2017.
So that was the first one that you guys did?
Yeah, so we did Road to Ultra. So it was great to bring the brand in. Obviously, there was so much hype and exposure. We announced it in Ultra Miami that Ultra's coming, and, you know, socials blew up and blogs, and it was just like, wow, this is like something that we've never experienced before. And I guess it was so, like, I've seen Ultra for years and years and watched it, and, you know, now to kind of be that, I guess, behind it, it was just really exciting. So yeah, we did Road to Ultra, nerve-wracking, put it on sale, sold like 6,000-7,000 tickets in the first kind of hour.
What?
Yeah, it was just crazy. We were all like in the boardroom at Lucky, and it was like watching the stock, just like fresh.
Yeah.
This is insane. And so we did that, and like we did 17,000 people, and it was I think it was my Music Bowl's biggest one stage, because there's only one stage, Road to Ultra. You know, electronic show, biggest show. So it was great to see, you know, so much work behind the scenes. You know, we had a huge team, and, you know, full credit to our team. I guess it's something that obviously going from, I guess, 5,000 to 8,000 was our biggest show that, you know, I've done personally, to do kind of something on this kind of level. And, like, you know, I guess going to Summer Days back in the day was my first major music festival, and I used to hang up the decor there just to get a free ticket, you know, just to help out in work experience. And I've always loved the venue. You know, it's always been like my favorite venue. And I guess when we're looking at Ultra, I was like, hey, let's do the bowl, you know, like it's
iconic.
Iconic. It's, you know, I guess for me personally, it's had that little bit of a soft spot. You know, going to these events for so many years there, and, you know, working there behind the scenes and doing all this kind of stuff. But
when you say team, like, there was a big, like, how big is the team? Like, how many people are we talking?
Yeah, I think there was a core team for about 15.
Yep.
If not maybe more. But I guess from that 15 that's like working on it every day, there's contractors and there's contractors.
Totally.
So, it becomes easily 200, and I don't even mean that by a big number, because just on the lighting crew, riggers, there's probably about
100%. Yeah.
The bar staff, bump-in staff, there's 40, 50, and then there's
security.
Security. I mean, hundreds. There's probably about 500 people when it's all said and done working on day, when it's like security, bar staff, front door staff, volunteers. It's a huge kind of team to put together on a music festival, and I guess
that's crazy for like a day or two, maybe, a 2-day festival, a day festival, whatever it is. You've got to bring all these people in.
Definitely.
To make it the best possible experience for 17,000 people.
And I guess a lot of it, people that run music festivals, like, you don't enjoy it as much. You probably enjoy the last half an hour, but, you're always on the go. Something, putting spot fires out in every way, from, the door's not opening on time, or something happens in the bar. Or,
yeah.
The last 2 years at Ultra, we've always had a production problem. I don't know if we're jinxed, but the first year we had something wrong with the door. The second year was like, the door was like, the U wasn't hung properly, or we had something wrong. It's just crazy, things that go on.
But that's what I was going to say. Like, what are you doing, like, the day before? And then, like, what happens on the day? Like, how are you feeling? What are you doing? Like, what's the vibe? Because, again, like you said, most people just turn up, 17,000 people turn up, walk through the front door, be like, oh, my God, look at this stage. It's all there. It just happened. But for you, obviously, it's months of work. But, like, what are you doing on the day before then? What are you thinking about on the day?
Yeah, majority of the time, like, I spend a lot of time on site.
Yep.
Just walking around, talking production, talking to this person, whatever it might be. Obviously, we've got the teams, focusing on artists, so flights coming in, accommodations coming in, all that kind of stuff. But I guess from my kind of aspect, what my job role kind of is with project managing, I guess there's a lot of time with, like, I guess, police, ambulance, key stakeholders, venue. There's a lot of meetings going on behind the scenes, and I guess ensuring that, that aspect of what's happening, with the venue, or if things are delayed, what's going on here? Do we need more staff here? With, like, there's a lot of stuff. I guess, I'm just consistently walking around. I guess you'll find me at the site probably like the last person there, like a lot of the time, bumping in.
Yeah.
I guess just being there. I guess it's also just like, I guess, bringing it in, like, the work that you've kind of done.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, do you get time to reflect? Like, I wrote that down. Like, do you actually get time to take in what you've just created?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely do. Like, every show that I do, leading up to the events, like, I'm always there, the last person. Like, I just love being at the site. I love the bump in. I love that experience. I love seeing things come, like, from stages to come up. So I guess, I do spend a lot of time by myself, just walking. I can't even imagine how many kilometers I walk. But I guess, during the events as well, I always take that time out just through half an hour just to walk around and see people and host and just see what you've done. Like, it's just, I guess there's a lot of things that goes on, and, for the whole year of work, blood, sweat and tears and stress and everything else goes on.
I can imagine.
It's good to take it out.
What do you think runs a successful event? Like, in your opinion, like, what do you think are some key ingredients, key features, key things to cover in what you do to run a successful, like, even just a nightclub, like just an event of a nightclub, but then to the scale of Ultra?
Yeah, I think, like, I mean, it's your team, isn't it? I mean, it's not a one-person show. This is not like, hey, it's my show, I'm the hero.
Totally.
It's not. It's really like, your team is your bread and butter, and it's like your backbone of what you do. We've got a great core team. Putting something like Ultra on and, doing Melbourne and Sydney simultaneously builds and stuff. And I guess, each person's handling their own department. Totally. And I guess me having the trust in my partners, knowing that I don't need to worry about them because they'll do the best job that they can and the best job that they can do in that area. Obviously, if they need hands, obviously we all kind of talk, and we've got our WhatsApp groups and all our messages and things going on. But I think, like, to put something on like this, you definitely need a core team. You definitely need your teammates and your key personnel behind you of wanting the same result as you at the end of the day, and if you can trust them and you can trust people, what's going on, I think that's
well, like you said, if you've got 500 people, like, overall team, there's no way like any one or two people can manage that. Like, that's teams and leaders and, breaking it down even more. Did you ever think you'd run like a big festival like this?
No, I don't think I did. I mean, clubs to me was just great. I mean, I put 1,000 people in a club and this was the best thing in the world. And still, it is still the best thing in the world. Like, I love doing the club shows. It's intimate, especially when you got say a headline DJ that everyone kind of comes to. I guess it's just that feeling. It's just like that buzz inside you that no one can you can't explain that emotion of
Totally.
that show of what it is. But yeah, I guess, seeing people going to festivals and working at it, it's always been something I'd love to do. Didn't think how I'd ever get here.
Yeah.
But now that we're here, it's just it's an interesting time now. But,
especially during COVID, it's definitely a little bit interesting and challenging.
Yeah.
On that topic, what do you think is sort of the future of this industry? Because I know we were chatting a couple of days ago about it and just had a little quick chat about it, but like things are going to change in a drastic way on many fronts.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on festivals and all that sort of things, but even just nightlife, even just going out and entertainment and venues and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm not too sure. I mean, I know everybody's hanging. Like, obviously, you go with a couple of weeks without going to a show or a club, and you just you want to get out and
totally,
whatever it is. I'm even
get dressed.
I just want to feel the buzz, feel the vibe, and I'm hanging to get back out. But I'm not too sure. Like, I know, a lot of nightclub, bars, restaurants, everyone's in a really hard spot right now. It's not getting any answers, and I guess we're not moving forward. We are moving forward, but we're moving forward very, very slowly.
Yeah.
We all thought by August we'll be kind of slowly opening up, and we can kind of, we put a plan in place. But now we're reassessing every single plan, especially for the clubs. Being a part of a part owner of Billboard with the guys, I know not so much myself, but I know the guys are always reassessing every week. How do we get through this time period?
Totally.
By doing certain things of costs and this and that, and assessing when we can open. But I'm not sure. I guess the measures are going to be in place. It's. I don't think anybody kind of knows. I mean, how do you social distance at a nightclub? How do you enforce that? How do you enforce social distancing at a music festival? I mean, I've seen different aspects. I think there was something in the UK that kind of went up that everyone's on these little truss podiums and stuff like that. But it's a little hard, I guess, how does it...
And what do you temperature check everyone? Do they have to sign waivers and say, yeah, I got tested, and I don't want to put any responsibility? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think anybody kind of knows. I mean, who knows? I mean, for us, we just want to get open. We just want to do things. We want to do things right. I mean, like with every music festival that we do, safety is our number one priority.
Of course.
We always have a lot of key stakeholder meetings with police, ambulance, dance-wise, which is a voluntary kind of walk around, they walk around the festival and help people and, kind of talk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I guess, is this going to be a new aspect of, emergency services like COVID now? We spend so much time, effort and money, and sometimes we get grilled on expenses on this. It's just insane, of what we do. Are they going to put more measures in place, which is going to cost a promoter now to do COVID-free safe?
Absolutely.
I'm not too sure.
Wow. And what does that mean? That tickets go up in price? Does that drinks go up in price? Does everything go up to cover that?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's a flow-on effect, isn't it?
Exactly right.
We don't want to put up our prices. I mean, sometimes, when we put a ticket on for $150, we're like, oh, it's so expensive. But, when you're seeing a budget of say $10 million for a show, and you're seeing something that's costing X amount of dollars to bring your favorite artist out, or
100%,
or production, or this or that, Australia is the most expensive country in the world with labour costs and public holidays, I guess hospitality rates, and
totally
the list goes on, there were so many rates and stuff that I never even knew of. I'm like, there's a public holiday rate, then there's a penalty rate, and then there's this rate, and then there's a call-out rate, and it's
when you just look I'll make $2 a person that comes in. There is no rates, there is no bonuses.
Talking about I guess interesting time, COVID. I guess it's sad in one way. I mean, no one ever expected this when we started looking at 2020. Our calendar was full and it was thriving. And I guess we just finished Ultra, and then the Grand Prix was the week after, and that closed down. And it was we didn't even know, we're having a lot of stakeholder meetings every day talking about COVID. Is this going to happen? Because I think cases
are real. Yeah.
Yeah, we're it's happening, but there's more cases happening. We're well, is it happening? We're just having a lot of, I don't think they kind of knew the brunt of it.
Totally. I don't think no one expected it to go this long, man. And no one expected it to be so impactful to businesses, obviously to lives as well, from the health perspective, and also from the business perspective of people's financial, life. Yeah. It is a little bit sad, on the events. And this is just a bit of a selfish question personally. What can someone expect? Again, like I said, I've never been to a festival, so we might have people listening. But why? How do festivals? what's the difference between a festival and a nightclub? And I sort of know the answer to that, but like, what could I expect from going to a festival that I wouldn't get at a nightclub?
I guess it really is about the experience, isn't it? Like you got a multi-stage event, production that is just tenfold of like a nightclub. And I guess like that's probably like your biggest kind of thing. I guess, being a part of 1,000 people is amazing, being, in environment, but I guess being a part of like 20,000 people and being in the crowd is like a different kind of level that no one can really understand, I guess, unless there's the people that are a part of it. I guess, the feeling, the sensation when your favorite song comes on and you got, instead of 1,000 people, you got 20,000 people. And I guess
jumping up and down.
Yeah, the emotion, but I guess, what I've kind of seen as well is, people make lifelong friends at these festivals. You got your hubs, you got your groups, you got
definitely
people meeting over at this
Agreed.
hotel and then walking over. You got international people flying in, making friends. It's a whole new level that I guess international festivals kind of have created. I guess if you look at like Ultra, Tomorrowland, all this kind of stuff that are just well-known major Coachella, well-known major festivals, they do amazing activations and like, central point meeting hubs and, people flying in from Australia. And then I guess people create friendships.
Totally.
People create that new friendship of like, hey, I met you overseas and I met you at this festival. And
Coachella is definitely on the bucket list. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've never been to Coachella, so it's definitely on the list one day. But I guess what they do overseas is completely next level stuff, isn't it? It's just, but I guess, if you want to look at things, what's different on nightclub stuff to festivals, I guess, the experience, I guess, walking through the big gates, security checkpoints, and then I guess walking through and hearing that sound and not seeing the stage, and then I guess maybe walking over a hill or walking around, and then as you're walking through, you just
bang,
and it's like, wow, like this.
Honestly, man, like you sold it to me well. I'm pretty cheated up right now. As soon as we get off this call, I'm gonna be pumping tunes here in the office.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. For someone wanting to sort of get into the event space, someone wanting to get into the nightclub world, post all this COVID stuff and whatever that might look like, is it really goes back to what you said earlier, like that hustle? Like in today's day and age, you're probably not really going to have to put phone numbers in your phone and stuff like that. But some tips, there might be a 17, 18, 19-year-old is like, I generally just I love events, I love music, I want to get into that space. What could they do? Yeah,
I mean, look at any of the big promoters right now. I mean, that's like, I guess, doing things. I mean, there's a lot of the time we do internships and, stuff like that. So I guess starting off something small, like you're never going to be this big person straight away or whatever it might be. And, you're not going to work on the big jobs or, you might have to do the smaller stuff to get to the bigger stuff to get your head around how it all works. But I mean, just start off by doing that. And I guess learning, I mean, if you want to do that and that's your niche and that's what you want to do, we work in a great environment and it's fun. It's not corporate kind of world where you have to come, wear this and do this. We're always new ways of, we want to, obviously you've got a skill set yourself, whether it's your imaginative mind or your graphic design or you're a DJ or whatever it might be. And we want to obviously try and bring that out of you, especially looking back now. I'm trying to find the next, I guess, call it myself, the next new entrepreneur that wants to work in this kind of field that has a skill set that I don't have.
Correct.
Or the same skill set. I mean, these kids these days are just unbelievable, from tech side to
100%.
Like, we work with a lot of young kids, and I'd love to work with more young kids and just try and build up new things, whether it's an apps or this, or trying to find new ways to invent our back-end solutions to make things easier. I mean, what they do these days, it's I look at some kids and I'm just like, fuck, like.
We were skateboarding. We were playing footy and skateboarding.
I was playing football and skateboarding, just enjoying life. But I think, making millions of dollars. Like some people, like I love reading about like young entrepreneurs, just
totally.
Like a 20-year-old kid just invented this, and I'm like, fuck, I thought about that, but I don't know how to do that. Like,
totally.
But I guess the mindset, isn't it? Just
totally,
mate, call us up, do an internship, help us out, like be a part of it. And I guess from that, things grow. We've always worked with people that have worked with us for years, and we like working with key people because it's always hard to find new people and train them.
Totally. So, having know the way you like to do, like how you like to operate, how you like to communicate with those quick responses and the style of content that you like, then it becomes so much easier. And like you said, man, like you got to put the time in.
Yeah.
What you did 4 years at Chapel Street, 4 years at Marquee, to then another year here.
Yeah.
What's that? It's 9 years.
Yeah.
Where someone just thinks, hey, I'll go and run a nightclub for half a year, and then I'll bring in another music festival. It's like, well, unless you've got some connections, that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts. You can have all the money in the world, but
Totally. What's the future for you, man? Like, I've honestly loved this. Like, I'm learning so much of like the how all these things come together. Like I said, I've never personally been, but I'm a massive fan of music as well. I love concerts. Like that's my biggest thing. Like I was honest, like you said earlier about Michael Jackson. For me, I remember when he passed away, it was like that big 50 event tour was meant to happen. And I was like waiting for tickets to come out, waiting. And then, obviously it never happened, but massive fan of music. So I'm really loving this. What's the future for you, man? Like in the events and musical and festival space, but then even outside of that?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, obviously we want to continue doing what we're doing on the music kind of world, and I guess potentially tap into different music genres and different ideas and different concepts. I guess I want to delve into a bit more on the marketing, e-commerce kind of side of things, just some side business stuff.
Yeah.
I think this downtime's really kind of taken a little bit of a different aspect, I guess, on marketing, and I guess really want to delve into that a little bit more on the marketing concept and
the online world. Yeah,
online work, and I guess clothing brand. I'm working with a company called Six Silk and a few other different concepts.
Nice.
So I guess just delving into different ideas. But I guess for me personally, I just continue doing what we're doing on the music shows. Get back to club world. Maybe like start from scratch again, isn't it? Like we're just literally going to come out of this, and just starting from even tones, and hopefully this time next year we can talk about music festivals again.
100%. And as you're running them, going through some footage and going through some cool artists. Well, look, you hit the nail on the head there, sort of starting from scratch, because you almost will have to, because if the way we do things is going to completely change.
Definitely.
So it's going to be starting from ground zero.
Literally.
Yeah, you got a brand. Yeah, you got some colors and some logos and stuff, but like how you on the back end do what you need to do to deliver 15, 20,000 people in one space. For you, what's your long-term goal, like from a festival perspective? Like how many people do you think you can run an event for? Or would you love to run an event for?
I look at back in the old, I guess, Stereosonic kind of model, with what those guys did, Richie and Frank, with creating kind of Stereosonic and the whole team that was behind them. I guess I'd love to kind of, create a multinational brand that tours Australia over 2 weekends and hits up Brisbane and Sydney and Adelaide and Perth. Obviously we've done, Sydney and I guess Melbourne with Ultra, but I guess I'd love to do a national touring festival. Whether it's a different music genre or whatever it might be, it could be country and western, I don't know. But I guess, I'd love to bring something to Australia. That's kind of like my goal. I'd love to just Melbourne, Sydney's great, but I'd love, we've done small club shows around Australia, but I guess I'd love to bring the multinational kind of festival over Australia.
Well, hopefully one day it's your festival, it's your brand, it's you and your team who have put something on, and it's it's Travis's work, and then that becomes a global thing where people are calling you to bring you overseas, and your brand. Well, that's the goal. What's one thing that really blew you away about the event space though, and festivals? Like, what's one thing that you thought, wow, I didn't think that would be the way it is?
I guess I didn't think it'll be that not hard. I guess I didn't think it'll be that hard. I mean, it really is hard. I mean, project managing something like Ultra and overseeing every kind of department and knowing what's going on. Like I knew, obviously there's so much into it, but I guess how much into it is mind blowing. I guess, when you're putting a lighting truss up here and it needs to look like this, and have to getting a permit for that, and just knowing every little detail and just going through every mindset, and the pages are so long, from itineraries to this, to having a department to look after this. Like it was really I guess, I guess it was a good thing to do a smaller Ultra, doing Road to Ultra, just really understanding on that bigger level.
Yeah.
What really goes on, like permits and this, this needs to be done by 90 days out, and putting a permit in for the City of Melbourne, doing this and having this stakeholders meeting. I was just like, whoa, this is insane. It's not just a nightclub, promotions, marketing. You got to meet with these people. You got to do this. It's just, visas need to be done by this. You got a whole checklist that needs to be done.
Like you said, for your guests and accommodation and flights. Do you ever get people like the flights are delayed, or DJs or artists don't turn up because of just life?
Yeah, shit always happens. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's just, artists always worry, always like, oh, is the artist on? Is the artist on? Yeah, they're in, they cleared customs. Yep, great. It's just, especially ask any music promoter, getting artists here or making sure that they jump on a plane is just making sure there's
a nightmare.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
For you, do you have any habits, or do you have any things that when you're in the flow, when you're in the element, when you're in that space of event mode, festival mode, ultras, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week, half a week out? What are some things that you do to, one, look after yourself, but two, to make sure that you can go into that event knowing that you've given it everything?
Yeah, I think, keeping into like a regular habit, obviously, as it gets closer to you, you're not like going to the gym or you're not doing this or whatever, like I guess your lifestyle kind of is in that aspect or, but I guess, as things kind of momentum, I guess it's kind of good to always have a regular mindset, a regular kind of routine.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym or seeing your friends or going to the movies. You also need to keep that mindset of like step away from work. Otherwise, it does eat you up. Industry, it's got habits, especially like someone like myself where my mind doesn't stop and go, I'm laying in bed and I'm like, fuck, I didn't do this today. I didn't do this. Like, I'll do this tomorrow. I guess keeping in routine and just, spending time with my girlfriend, Steph, or just having that kind of one-on-one, put your phone down. It is important to kind of just take that back seat, knowing that month leading into a festival show, whatever it might be, it's just going to be go, go, go. You've got 1 million emails a day, 1 million phone calls. People are going to be pulling you here, there, and everywhere. But I guess leading up to it, if you can kind of keep into your routine and just having your own regular kind of habits, it keeps you front, I guess.
It keeps you sane in that lead up. It keeps you sane. Do you remember the moment where you're like, fuck, like shit, like this is real? Yeah,
I think like doing God's Kitchen, I guess something on a bigger level or knowing something on that. I guess that was cool because that was like my first major event.
Yeah.
And it sold out really quickly. And I guess, doing the bigger production, knowing it, I'm like, I think I just looked back and watched the show half the time. Didn't even. I'm like, this is the best thing in the world. I love it. I guess that was probably like a good time knowing that, like, to know that I love what I do and I'm going to keep doing this. I want more and more. So
yeah, definitely. Coming out of school and sort of when you were sort of in uni and studying those diplomas on events and festivals and music, did you think that in the grand scheme of life in a short period of time that you'd be running? Well, I guess until 2017, so it's 3 years ago now. Like, did you think that you'd be running a brand like Ultra, bringing that to the country?
Not personally, no. I mean, obviously, I love doing the smaller shows and doing all this kind of stuff. But like when I was doing schooling, like I was still running the kind of weekly clubs and stuff. But I was going to these festivals. I never thought or never dreamt, until kind of a few more years into it. Then I thought, you know what, like we can do this. At the end of the day, like why can't we do this? We're selling clubs out. Why can't we do this 5 times over?
I love it.
So
a little bit of naivety, just like let's get out there and make it happen.
I guess it was a gamble, wasn't it? Like knowing, hey, let's
true.
Let's throw it all on the line. We've been doing this for years now. Let's.
Well, you had track record though, Trav. Like you had like those years of like we've done the smaller events, the a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. We've sold out nights back to back for who knows how many years.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like we've made money and we've lost a shitload of money, and like you kind of know, well, fuck, that hurts. Not going to do that again.
Totally.
You learn your lessons along the way. Every time we learn a lesson, we're like, we're not doing that again. Or
absolutely.
Try and reinvent the wheel something and just didn't work, and it's just trying to be cool or whatever it might be. Or you think an artist sells and it just doesn't sell. Unfortunately, like it comes with the blows, doesn't it? It's
it's the nature of the beast. It's like any business. You know what I mean? Like you can run a marketing campaign, think it's going to work, and it doesn't. You can bring whatever it is, do a new offer, new product, new service, whatever it might be. It's like any other business, like you said. If you're bringing an artist in, it's like releasing a new product or a new service to what you do. Some people are gonna love it, some people aren't, but it just depends on the timing and everything that comes with it. I love my biggest takeaway so far is that hustle. It's that grit. It's that never giving up. It's that resilience. It's that I'm just gonna make shit happen. I'll connect with the right people. For you, what do you think you made it? Because and the only reason, and this is not I don't want you to feel awkward. It's not an egotistic thing, but it's like I can only imagine how many people were in that course that you did. I can only imagine how many other promoters were there when you started at Chasers. I can only imagine how many other promoters are out there over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
How did you and your team, and I'm speaking to you, so how did you get to this level? Like, what do you think was that thing?
I guess the drive, isn't it? I mean, just knowing and seeing what you wanted. I mean, I love what I do. So I don't wake up and go to work. I mean, we work and we work hard, but I just love it. I mean, I wake up and I just love being around people. I love the music. I love, I guess, getting achievements or working on a particular artist for like 12 months and then finally getting a contract. I guess they're seeing achievements in that kind of aspect and that going there. But I guess I love what I do. I'm going to continue doing what I love what I do, and I'm working around great people and just enjoying life.
Love it.
I just enjoy life. Like,
good man.
I guess people take things serious, and I take things very serious in a lot of aspects. But I mean, I love life. I love my friends. I love my family. I love my girlfriend. I just love doing what we do, and we
Good
do
on
it
you, man.
together. And I think if you can love what you do, you're just going to excel at it. I think
Totally.
if you go to work or do things wrong way, or you got that mentality like I can't be fucked, or we all have those days. Don't get me wrong, I have them all
100%.
the time. But I guess
100%.
if you're just doing a job because of the sake of doing a job, you're not going to grow personally.
Totally.
You're going to put in the work
I think
100%.
you go fucking backwards, man. If you're not enjoying it, you're not personally growing. It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. I love that, man. Like you said, it's like that drive. It's like that. Yeah, because it's like that energy that a nightclub gives you that. Like if you're a patron or not, but then to actually be behind it, I can only imagine what that feeling is to sort of stand at the back or wherever you stand and be like, fuck, look at all these people here. Look what we've been able to create. Look at the happiness we've been able to provide, bring people together, build relationships with people. And you've been able to do that for like the blood, sweat and tears, the hours that go into it prior.
Been a good ride. Hopefully the ride continues.
Man, it's crazy. A couple more questions. What was one thing? Is there something that someone ever said to you that has really stuck with you? Like whether it's a piece of advice, whether it was a negative, not so much an attack, but something negative, or is there something that someone ever said to you that really hit home and something that you draw on more often?
Yeah, I mean, I refer back to, I guess, like with Noah and stuff like that at Marquee, and just, I guess, just being with those guys and just hanging around with them. And I guess, understanding that your biggest enemy is yourself, just knowing that anyone can do it. Anybody can do a job, but like knowing that you can do it, whether it's your knowledge, you learn more about your knowledge, or you learn more about how did somebody do this and you try and replicate that better or whatever it might be. But I guess, learning and just knowing and just going, well, there's 10 other people doing what you're doing at the exact same time. How do you do it better?
Totally.
You kind of want it to understand that at the end of the day, those 10 other people are going for the same goal. But if you do more knowledge and you do more research and more understanding and take some time to step back, focus it. I do a lot of things on the whiteboard. I write names and try to connect the dots and understand everything. And especially I've done a lot more now. But I guess just like knowledge, isn't it? Knowledge is power. I just put it in charger.
Yeah, you're right, man. Go for it.
Yeah, but I guess knowledge is power.
Well, like you said as well there in regards to like the Marquee brand, for them to be able to build a national brand, be one of the biggest, one of the known, one of the, like you said, artists respect that. Like they know that if they're going to go to Marquee, they're going to get this experience. Like that takes some connections, that takes some knowledge, that takes some trust, that takes a lot of getting in the trenches. I can only imagine what it would have been like in America, where there's probably tenfold the competition than what we have here. So for them to be able to do that. What would you say is your most favorite nightclub in the world? I know you haven't been to them all, so it's hard to say all nightclubs, but
I mean, I've never been to Europe, which is kind of crazy, but so I mean, obviously the Ibiza and all that looks just incredible and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Vegas does things on a whole new kind of level. Been to a fair few clubs in Vegas and haven't really got a favorite, but I guess each one's got their own individual, whether it's a pool party, whether it's this, it's like a kind of world. So I guess I've had a lot of fun overseas and got looked after. And
that's one thing that we don't have a lot here of pool parties. I think it's just we don't have the weather for it.
I'm surprised the Gold Coast doesn't do more of it. I mean, we've tried to do things over there and it just gets shut down. Too many rules and regulations. And
really?
Too many fun police over there.
It's not like Vegas where anything goes. They get a pool, they get some bar, they get a place to play some music, and who knows what can happen in those places.
Yeah.
I love it. Travis, man, this has been sick. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. This has been incredible. How do people find more about you, see more about what you're doing, follow you on your journey, and then, get ready for 2021 when we can launch into these new, bigger and better festivals? Yeah,
I guess, through any of our pages, I mean, everybody can hit me up on my Instagram page, Trav Grech Official. I think there's someone else called Trav Grech, and there's another Trav Grech. So I have Trav Grech Official. I guess anybody that I'll just I mean, I don't think it's too hard to kind of track me down.
Totally.
But I guess anybody can. My inbox, my door's always open, and I love hearing from people. And,
Good. Yeah, make sure you guys go and reach out and follow Trav on what he's doing. You know what, man? I think you've sold me on the whole festival thing.
Yeah.
So as soon as doors open and we're allowed to do it, I'll definitely have to get myself a ticket and go and experience it as a patron for sure. There's probably people out there listening out there saying, "Is this guy serious? He's never been to a festival." I'm like, you know what? I'm telling you now, I've never been to a festival, and I'll own it. Hey?
We'll change that. Don't stress.
Absolutely. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. Guys, Travis, man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the chat and giving some cool insights. The guys out there, thanks so much for joining in and listening in today to Travis and myself. Have an amazing day. Have a great day. And we will catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.
Thanks, fella.